Can I repair my relationship with my father after he cheated on my mother and lashed out at his family? Apologies in advance for the length, but I feel like some context is needed. I'll try and keep it as brief as possible. Last year, my mom found out my dad was cheating on her and threw him out. It was hard for all of us, but for Mom, it was like her whole world fell apart. They had been married for over 30 years and suddenly, poof, it was all gone in the worst possible way. Things got very messy from there. During the divorce process, my dad started to get cruel and spiteful. All Mom wanted was the house. She didn't even care about getting child support. But my dad insisted on getting half of everything. The house belongs to my mom. She had inherited it when her parents died not long after she and my dad got married. She loved the house. It held so many memories. He wanted it just to hurt her. So my middle brother Greg, 32M, and I called up our dad and told him we would buy out his share of the house before we let him take anything else from our mom. Dad accused us of ganging up on him and taking sides and started a personal vendetta against us as well. He did some truly awful things just to get back at us. I had never seen my dad behave this way. It was like he had become a completely different person, like some switch flipped. Then my dad found out his girlfriend was cheating on him with another married man, and they split up. My dad has obviously realized what a huge mistake he made because he showed up at my mom's door and begged her to take him back. She slammed the door in his face. My dad called me and asked me to convince Mom to take him back. I was almost prepared to at least talk to Mom, but then he said, "It was just one little mistake." I told him this was not one little mistake. He betrayed his wife. He betrayed his family. He even tried to steal the house from Mom for no other reason than sheer vindictiveness. He told me the only reason he had wanted the house was because his girlfriend wanted it. Unsurprisingly, this did not make things any better. He tried to backpedal and blamed everyone but himself for what he did. I lost it and went NC with him. He is not allowed near me or my family. This has caused a rift in my family, with divisive opinions on both sides. Some family members agree with me. Others say going NC is too far. One of my uncles blames my dad's mistress GF, saying she brought out the worst in him and obviously manipulated him, and that going NC means she wins. I spoke to a friend who agreed I had gone too far. She said my dad is obviously mentally ill. Why else would he have an affair and act so different if something else wasn't going on? She says I should be supporting him, not abandoning him. The thing is, though, I'm scared that if his mistress brought out the worst in him, what if he dates somebody else who is terrible? What if the only reason he was the usually morally upright man I knew growing up is because of my mother's influence? If he can be so easily influenced, what's to stop him from dating somebody who will bring out the worst in him again? Some of the things he did to lash out at us were unthinkably horrible. I should note that I may be letting my personal feelings and hurt get in the way. Years ago, I was cheated on by a terrible partner, so maybe this is influencing me as well. I don't know. Can my dad and I move past this? Can we have the relationship we once had, or is everything ruined forever? I'm so confused and don't know what to think. Any advice would be welcomed. TLDR, can rebuild the relationship with my dad after he cheated on my mom and lashed out at his family while under the influence of his toxic mistress? Edit, I've not been on Reddit for a while because, well, some major drama has happened. The long and the short is, 1. My dad suddenly turned around, said he refused to pay child support unless my mom proved our youngest brother is his with a paternity test. 2. My dad's ex-mistress is pregnant and she claims it's his. 3. The ex showed up at my mom's house harassing her, threatening her, trying to break windows by hurling bricks, and demanding my mom come out. Police got involved. The process for restraining orders have been started. So, the decision to go NC is final, and all of us are cutting him out of our lives. Thank you to everyone for their advice. It has all been incredibly helpful. My 40F toxic dad, who traded his family for a gold digger, demands to live with me. My 40F parents are divorced because my dad cheated. If you want the full details, I posted the story in Relationship Advice a few years ago. I don't know if I'm allowed to post links to other subreddits here, but you should be able to find it on my profile. I guess you could consider this an update. But the short version is, my mom found out my dad was cheating and started divorce proceedings. As a result, my dad got vindictive and allowed/encouraged his mistress to get vindictive towards my mom. When his mistress broke up with him, he tried to come crawling back to my mom, who shut the door in his face. And he spent the whole divorce process lashing out at my mom, me, and my other siblings and our kids, to the point where we all had to go NC. Anyway, the divorce was finalized. Dad and his mistress have been on again, off again. They had a kid together. There was some drama where he denied the kid was his, but he got a paternity test done and it turns out it is his. Anyway, he showed up at my door a few weeks ago and told me he was going to stay with me. Not asked, told. And not just that, but he told, not asked, that while he was here, my husband and I needed to move into the guest room so he could have our room because it has an ensuite. And, he needs that. As you can imagine, I put my foot down. Hard. I told him after everything he did, how dare he darken my doorstep. And worse, not even to apologize, not even to ask how I am or how his grandkids are, but to dictate to me that he is staying in my house. I'm normally a pretty calm, go-with-the-flow kind of person. But I just lost it and screamed all the things he did to us. The vindictive attacks, the way he used my kids as weapons to get back at me, the smear campaigns he led against my mom. He screamed back, "When you came crying home after your breakup with X, I let you stay in my house, eat my food, moon about in your room. I let you come home. I didn't act like complete butch." To be clear, the breakup he's talking about was when my former fiancé cheated on me with multiple women. Oh, and also, for anyone who hasn't read my previous post, it's not his house. It's my mom's. And he tried to steal it from her during the divorce to give to his bratty mistress. I just shut the door on him. Long story short, police had to be called as my dad refused to leave. I found out today why he tried to stay with me. His mistress has been bleeding him dry with child support and alimony. I think they've broken up for good. He's had to sell every asset he had, and now he's broke. I know this because he's staying with my uncle, his brother, and he called me to let me know. The saddest, funniest part about all this is how my dad won't stop talking about how heartless and ungrateful I am to anyone who will listen. And he is posting passive-aggressive posts on his FB about how you do everything for your kids, but then they throw you to the curb. This whole ordeal over the last few years has been hard. I've been going to therapy and have slowly come to terms with the fact that my father isn't the man I thought he was, and likely he never will be. But it brought back a lot of hurt. I can't believe he would do this. I just don't understand how somebody can do this, can behave this way. But it is what it is. But anyway, my dad, the entitled, vindictive little a-hole, everyone. Never thought I'd be able to say that, but there we go. TLDR, my dad, who threw a bomb in his family to be with his gold digger mistress, gets dumped by said mistress and demands to live with me as if nothing happened. Calls me selfish and ungrateful when I don't. Comment 1. It's great when your abusive, vindictive asshole of a parent accuses you of tossing them to the curb. Never mind that they're supposed to be supporting you and helping you deal with the kids and life. Now you're supposed to be there for them when they were never there for you. Good on you for slamming the door in his face. Maybe a dose of reality will finally settle in when he realizes that he's burned all his bridges and is going to have to do a lot of swimming to get back on your side. OP's reply: I know that will probably never happen, but a small part of me wishes it would. I really miss my dad, or the person I thought he was. But yes, he is burning bridges everywhere he goes, even with his own family. My grandparents are already talking about either cutting him out of the will or giving him the smallest token item in it because of the crap he pulled while the divorce was going on. In particular, the time he sent me and my brothers a copy of his will that showed he'd taken us out and put his mistress and her kids, the ones she had with other men, not the one they have together. By the time he sees it, it will be too late. Comment 2. I went back and reread your original story on this, as I vaguely remembered it. Anyway, after rereading the story and the comments, there's one comment in there from somebody who says your uncle is probably partially right. Your dad is influenced by others and has no morals of his own. He kind of chameleons or mirrors those of others around him. Now that he's latched onto his toxic mistress, he's toxic as all hell. This is not to absolve him of anything, by any means. He is still an adult and is fully responsible for his actions and should never forget that. But the good in him, you remember, came from your mom. If you're still wishing for that good you used to have in him, you already have it in her. I'm sorry you're going through this. I hope therapy is going well. If you ever need to vent, hit me up. OP's reply: this has actually genuinely helped me. Thank you. Thank you so much. I've never thought of it that way. I really appreciate your advice. Honestly, I was just posting to vent. I wasn't expecting much, but thank you. Comment 3. Sounds like your dad donor had a FAFO moment, and it came back and bit him right on the ass. Like he's full of surprises, and it looks like his past as a cheater with a gold digger did just that. Karma can be a bitch. I'm glad it hit him just like that. My donor was hitting it with another woman when I was born 2 months early and showed up at the hospital a few hours later, drunk off his ass. Refused to sign my birth certificate. Best thing that ever happened to me. Hurt for years, but in the long run, I got lucky. He died after 16 years of no contact with me. Good riddance. And good for you for showing him the door. Keep the momentum going. OP's reply: funniest thing of all is my mom never wanted a single thing from him in the divorce. Not alimony, not child support. My youngest brother was 17 at the time this started going down. Not even the car they shared. And he gave her up for his mistress, who bleeds him dry and sleeps around. Don't know how he ever imagined the grass would be greener with her. Comment 4. I'm sorry this happened, but good for you for not even entertaining the idea of him living with you. Don't let anyone treat you like that. OP's reply: honestly, even if he had asked nicely, I would still have said no given all he did, and not once has he offered a genuine apology. But the fact that he demanded meant it definitely was not happening. If not for me, then for the things he did to my kids. They will not have somebody like that in their lives. Comment 5. OP, I just read your previous post about your dad. If you need any more convincing that you are doing the right thing by going no contact with him, just read your previous post again. I didn't see a father in your previous post. On the risk of being an armchair psychologist, I saw a narcissistic man-child who cheated on his wife of 30 years. Then, after his mistress cheated on him with another married man, he had the audacity to come crawling back to your mom like he didn't emotionally abuse her. He even tried taking her house like he hadn't caused enough grievance to your mom. He is disgusting. Don't let yourself be manipulated by him and others, like your friend from last time. He hasn't changed. Only his situation did. He's still demanding and hasn't even apologized for his actions. And next time he holds over your head when he let you stay after your ex cheated on you, just remind him that it's your mother's house and he's a disgusting cheat like your ex. OP's reply: I got plenty of advice from that post, which helped me greatly. And I have been in therapy for a little over a year now. So I have come to terms with who my father really is and how it would be unhealthy to have him in my life. One of the reasons my husband suggested I go was partly to deal with what was going on, but he also said I have a tendency to put others before myself, putting off my needs so I can help others. During therapy, I have been dealing with both, learning to come to terms with what happened with my dad, and also to balance and recognize my own needs. I actually had a therapy session a few days ago where I brought this up with my therapist. They asked me why I thought my dad came to me first, and not my uncle, or my brothers, or my mother. Initially, I assumed it was because my brothers would beat the hell out of him, and maybe he thought I'd be calmer or more reasonable. But after some further discussion, I realized it was because my dad was trying to take advantage of my tendency to put others first. It helped me see it was a calculated move and made me all the more sure that I made the right call shutting the door on him. Comment 6. How does a mistress get alimony? OP's reply: I have no idea. That's apparently what my dad told my uncle. They did move in together while she was pregnant, so maybe that entitles her to some alimony? Or maybe my dad is just exaggerating to get sympathy. Either way, I have no interest in confirming. Comment 7. It's time to set yourself free. Block him everywhere. If you don't see his nonsense, it doesn't matter. Then live your best life. OP's reply. I did block him on everything after this incident. I had my post set so everyone but my dad could see anything. I wanted it more just to keep an eye on him. But after this, I honestly don't care. I'm tired of all of this. You are completely right. It is time to set myself free, fully free. Comment 8. Just stay NC and block him from all your social media, but never back down. OP's reply. Oh, believe me, I do not intend to back down. And even if he did offer a genuine apology, for once, it would be super baby steps to letting him back in. Though I doubt that will ever happen. As sad as I am about it, it has to be done. He is not an individual me or my family need to be around.